Hi everybody, and thank you for joining me today. So we are well into the tail feathers now, and so I'm just continuing to work on those, my favorite part. Yeah, as you can see, I sort of ended up with an interesting shapes as I follow the colors and work from established edges. So yeah, because of the way the feathers sort of form overlapping sort of scales, that has made for some interesting shapes as I stitch. So, but as usual, I still try to not close in on all four sides and to have my stitches be connected to something that is already stitched on one side at least. So that is how we ended up with some funky looking edges here. Yeah, it's a lovely day today. So I may get to go do my walk outside today. It's a little windy, as you can probably hear my kitchen vent covers flapping around a bit, but not as bad though. Yesterday was really windy. Yeah, my kiddo's little tree that he planted in the front yard was all like sideways. It looked funny. Yeah, so yeah, we had some neighbors down the road. They cut down a huge tree. Well, they hired someone to. Yeah, the tree must have been like, oh sheesh, like the height of a 4-story building or something. Yeah, it was really, really big. And yeah, they cut it down with just a chainsaw, no straps or anything, and had it fall into the street. And yeah, it was interesting to watch. Yeah, it didn't actually make very big of a sound or a thud when it crashed. So I would have expected a lot more. The chainsaw was louder than the tree falling. Yeah. And then, yeah, they had a wood chipper set up to deal with it. Yeah, and then we'll see if they get anybody to remove the stump that was left behind, because it's quite a big one. Yeah, I took a little video of it while they were cutting it down and it falling, because I knew my son would be disappointed that he missed it. He was at school while it was happening, so yeah. Yeah, my husband went and got their business card, because we have a tree in the backyard it's not the apple tree, and yeah, it's dying, but yeah, I want to get rid of it and leave that to the professionals. Yeah, I've seen way too many videos where it went very badly for people. Ooh. Yeah, apparently too, you have to be careful about cutting trees down, whether you're allowed to. There have been people who have been fined a lot of money because they cut down trees that they were not supposed to. They weren't allowed to, yeah. Like there was one I read about, and they cut down a tree on a property they were renting, which they didn't have the owner's permission. And it turned out that the lady who owned the house, her late husband had planted that tree. So like, obviously it was of huge sentimental value. And yeah, she took them to court and they got fined like tens of thousands of dollars. So like, yeah, you have to be very careful. Because they said some of these trees, especially if they're really old, yeah, they can be actually worth quite a lot of money. Yeah, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, there's a whole section on Reddit of tree law. Yeah, I remember there was a case, I think it was in Vancouver, but anyway, it was along some coastal city, and a lady didn't like that these great big trees right along the waterfront were blocking the view from her house. So she poisoned them. And they were these 4 like old growth, you know, trees that belonged, like they were on city property, right? And so clearly they did not belong to her. And she did where like she drilled into them and they put something in there to kill the tree off. So that way, if the trees were dead, the city would be forced to cut them down, was her reasoning. And yeah, she was fined a lot of money for that because, like I said, it was on, you know, like, it was on the parkland. So yeah, it was, if you wanted to increase the value of your home, so because you had an ocean view that was unencumbered by trees, well, yeah, whatever value you may have added to your house, you just had to pay for in fines and legal fees and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, and eventually our old apple tree will go. But as long as it is still producing, we're keeping it around. Yeah, like I said, it has a really bad fungal infestation. Not sure what you want to call it, but yeah. It has broken apart a couple of times from the trunk has rotted through, and then we had a bad windstorm, and yeah, the rotten part broke. Oh, come on. You really didn't do that. Let go. Come on, let go. No, that knot is just not budging. I don't want to pull it any harder and distort my fabric. Oh, that sucks. I hate when that happens. Yeah, that was just, it was stuck in there good. Tried sticking my needle through the loop and pulling, that didn't work. I tried sticking it in the knot and pulling, but yeah, it was not going to let go. It had a death grip. Oh, that's frustrating. The thing I hate the most is that, yeah, then I have to rip it back enough so that I can actually get enough length to secure it. So I hate undoing work that's already done. Oh, that happens sometimes, unfortunately. Not much you can do about it. Okay, so let's see, is that enough to tie off or not? Are you going to make me tear this back right to the beginning? Because I will not be happy about that. No, I think, oh no, that's both. I thought it was only one strand. Shoot. And now I unthreaded it again, so I have to fiddle around. There we go. Okay. Oh well, still better than finding the knot after I tie the thread off. Then yeah, that's always a fun dilemma. Do I rip it apart? Okay, so those ones are done. I'll get a new strand. I find this color, 434, it tangles a lot on me. And I have mentioned it to other stitchers and they said it's a similar thing. So I don't know if it's something in the dyeing process of this particular color that makes it more prone to tangling or what, but yeah. I thought maybe it just seemed that way because when I was working on my Oriental triptych piece, there was a lot of this color in the background, so it may have just been the case of the more you use a color, the more chances it has to tangle up on you, right? But yeah, I did mention it to some others and they did say that they also have noticed this color seems to like to knot up on you more than others do. So yeah, I'm going to fill in this bit here of this feather, And then depending on time, I will probably go up and start on the next feather. Whether we'll get to that during this session or not, we'll see. Yeah, talking about cutting down trees, we had another neighbor on the street who was doing it by himself with a chainsaw, and he was up on a ladder and he fell off the ladder, and holy cow, that scared the heck out of me. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. But yeah, boy, that made me nervous. Oh. Yeah, it was weird. They had this during a windstorm. Oh, pardon me. Throat is a little scratchy today, so I apologize in advance for that. Anyway, they had this big tree, and during the storm, one big branch of it kind of broke. And the weird thing is it didn't die completely, but the leaves on it turned orange faster than the rest of the tree during the fall. And then all of the leaves would fall off, but the ones on that broken branch would hang on through the whole winter. So it was really weird. The leaves would die quicker, but then they would never let go. Even in the snow, they'd still be there, which was very odd. Yeah, I had to get used to that because I grew up in BC, and I found the seasons don't change as abruptly as they do here because we're out in the desert here. But yeah, I found like the leaves will turn, but they take a few weeks and a long time to fall. And then once we moved out here to Alberta, yeah, they turn color in like a week or two and fall off. It took some getting used to. Okay, so I'm going to do all of these here. Yeah, we had one tree we cut down in our front yard because we were worried the roots were going to crack the foundation. And my brother-in-law brought over his chainsaw, and then he carved his initials on the stump to autograph it. Yeah, we eventually had the stump ground down, but they missed one of the big roots coming off it, so there's just like this one root on our front lawn. Oh. Yeah, they did that, and they accidentally cut the neighbor's internet line. Yeah. But yeah, my husband tried with a few tools to break it up and stuff, but yeah, stumps are very, very tough. Well, I mean, I guess they have to be, right? They're anchoring an entire tree that can be, right, very, very tall, so they have to be pretty firmly in the ground or they blow over very easily. Yeah, my dad was friends with this guy. They had a fair amount of land, and they did selective logging on it. And we went one time, they were cutting down this big tree, but because it was like in the middle of a forested area, they had to be really careful where it fell so that it wouldn't knock down other trees as it came down. And so the way the guy cut it, he made it so that it broke sort of halfway and then would sort of pull to the side to sort of go around this other tree to keep from hitting it. Yeah, it was pretty interesting to watch. And he did it perfectly, yeah. And then they had some Clydesdale horses to drag it out of there. So yeah, instead of machinery, so that was pretty cool. All right, so changing colors a bit here, but we're going to get into some bigger blocks fairly soon. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to fill in this little inlet here, and then I'm going to go back to the top for a bit, I think. So yeah, I have abandoned my diagonal method. Yeah, my stitching methods have evolved over time. I was cross-country, and then when I started parking, I did a kind of combination of parking and cross-country, and then I did diagonal, and now I'm doing this color flow. So we'll see if I decide to change it again or not. Thinking that's a red, if I remember correctly. So yeah, kiddo is just finishing up exams, and he has one more year of high school left. Yeah, it still blows my mind every time I think about it. Yeah, so we'll see if we get to 43% by the end of this month. I think I have 3 more sessions after this one. So it's possible, but you never know. Sometimes life gets in the way. Yeah, like I said, I don't set myself goals because I don't want to get stressed out. Yeah, I was saying 50% by the end of the year, but that should be no problem. Might even be 50% by the end of August. We'll see. But again, not a goal. I apologize. My stomach is being very loud today. I don't know why. I'm not hungry. I did have breakfast, I swear. Oh, pop, pop, pop. The wind picked up, yeah. We had our windows replaced a couple of years ago. Actually, more than that. Yeah, because it was I think it was in 2020. Yeah, you kind of time everything around when the pandemic started, right? Before or after, yeah. Yeah, because I remember we had them scheduled to come, and then we had to call and ask if we were going to have to postpone the install because of the restrictions. But yeah, they showed up and did it. They hauled away all the old windows too. Yeah, they did a great job. We were quite happy with it. But yeah, I didn't realize these new ones, the windowsills, they're made out of this like plastic vinyl stuff. And yeah, they're quite sensitive to temperature changes and such. I had to get used to that because the heat would come on and hit it in the winter, and then it would make the popping sounds and wake me up. Yeah, it was no fun. I've now given up. Instead of using earplugs, I now use the sleep phone headphones. They're like these flat speakers in a headband designed to be worn while you sleep. And I use those, and I have brown noise going, and I find that helps actually, because earplugs muffle noise, but if there's a sudden sound, I'll still hear it and wake up. But if the sounds are drowned out by the constant brown noise, yeah, I'm more successful in not being disturbed by it, yeah. Yeah, the only thing is that there was a tiny bit of damage to the hearing in my left ear because of the ear infection I had last year. Like, not very noticeable, couple decibels, but enough that sort of it sounds as if the sound is louder in my right ear when I have the headphones on. Yeah. Because I can't hear quite as well in the left one. So, yeah, that kind of took some getting used to. I kind of wish they had a way that you could control the sides separately, because I bet I'm not the only person who has the problem with, you know, uneven hearing from damage or whatever. Yeah. Like, yeah, they said when I had my hearing tested that there was very, very slight hearing loss in that ear. Not really enough to impair anything. I can still hear really well, but yeah, I did say I noticed sometimes like that the headphones sound louder in one ear than the other in the right ear. Sometimes, in fact, what I end up doing is having my right earbud like not quite fully in my ear. That way the sound is more even. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I don't know. I'll have to look if that's a thing because, yeah, like I said, I'm betting I am not the only person with that issue. I mean, I suppose if you had hearing aids, you could have one tuned up a little more than the other, but I'm definitely not at that point yet. Needle over here. So yeah, I hit 130,000 stitches completed yesterday. Okay, I'm actually going to work up and down these rows a bit here, just because of the shape this is making. Usually I work side to side, but this time I'll do it a little differently. Oh, if I could get my needle to cooperate, that is. That's because the sulky thread was kind of in my way. Yeah. It can't be pierced by the needle, so it kind of has to be pushed out of the way sometimes. that one, and then this one, and then we'll park. Okay, so now I'm going to stitch side to side. Oh goodness, that's not right. Oh yeah, there was a knot on the back here. Yeah, went to pull the thread through and I could feel a bunch of loops back there that should not be there. Yeah, I think we filled in this bit quicker than I thought, so we will move on to the next sort of little inlet there and fill that in as well. So yeah, like I said, I will not finish the tail that is in this pass this month for sure, but I would say next month probably. I don't think we'll finish the whole pass completely next month, but we'll probably get the tail mostly done. And there's the garden wall again. Yeah, I've been managing about 4 to 4.5 months per pass across this piece. So I find with these feathers, I kind of do the centers and then work around the center eye bits. So I can end up with a really weird shaped edge, and then I slowly kind of smooth it out as I fill in more colors. Actually, I'll leave that threaded for now. So we'll actually use that color bit. Yeah, it's kind of the limit of how far I'm going to work out to the right there before I go back in to the left and work my way out again. Okay. Oh, goodness, like I said, don't know why my stomach is being so loud today. Very irritating. Okay, finally cracked the 100. That's not right. Been a while since I did that. Yeah, I split the fabric. It didn't come up quite in the correct spot. Stitch would have looked a little wonky that way. Oh, come on. There we are. Okay, so I'm just gonna browse around. Yeah, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in this bit here, and then I can sort of carry on that way. As I said, these different colors kind of intertwine as the different feathers form different shapes. So yeah, so I'm going to sort of fill in this bit right here for now. Oh goodness, I just moved my frame. The extra fabric is a little bit in my way. Just have to be careful not to accidentally sew through it. Although that'd be pretty hard to do because it'd be very thick and I wouldn't be able to easily slide my needle through, so. Oops. Goodness. Oh, there we go. So yeah, this color kind of extends out further to the right like that, but I'm just going to kind of cut off at this grid line here for now. I'll add more to it later when I do that section. Yeah, kind of don't feel like moving across and down at the same time, so we're going to stick to just moving downwards for the moment. Oh wow, that one was really uneven. Snarls or loose threads on the back. Sometimes when I do a loop start, the ends don't always line up. Occasionally, if when I pulled it taut, it got snagged a little bit. Yeah, I think that's probably what happened there. Yeah, I love all these greens. They're so pretty. Okay, let's see how long this piece is. I don't think it's very long, no. So I think I'm gonna start another thread soon. Okay. I think I'll do those ones along the bottom there as well. Change position here. Get sore if I sit in one position for too long, so. Actually, I should go the other way. So I want to be able to park there. I always park in the same spot. That's one rule that I don't change. Otherwise, I will get mixed up. Okay, so let's just see what my plan is here. around those edges there. Fine close-up, it's kind of hard to see that these are two different greens in this area, but I do know that it will add extra detail and shading to the piece, so it will be worth it in the long run. But yeah, I had one time I was working on night sky and it was all 939 and 823. And those colors are not very different. And I said up close, it felt like I'd just done the whole page in one color. Oops, that's not quite right there. Didn't quite disappear into the fabric, which is what I was attempting to do. That's better. Now it has. So yeah, I could decide to go over to the right and work down, but instead I'm going to work sort of, there's another eye motif here. I'm going to sort of work the stuff that's beside it first before I get to that motif. Trying to untwist it, not add more twists to it. Look at that, we're about to hit 200. So how about we stitch to there? Oh, pardon me. A whole bunch of colors here. Okay, so 2 more will get us to 100. So, just gonna see whether it was worth taking this one out to my tray. How much of this color is around here? I will probably stitch just past 200. I'm going to do those ones along that edge there too. That won't close anything in. And they're still connected. I'll use a separate thread for the other ones of this color up there, since this is just sort of where I've decided to make my break. So there we go, 202. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you here next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.